Hello everyone, Mondavu here, back with another quest tutorial for Path of Titans. This time we are in Burned Forest, which is the most obvious place on the map besides Rainbow Hills, because it's all over here. All this black burned rock and whatnot, that's where Burned Forest is. So I'm gonna need mushrooms. Again, I had a friend say that they tend to like shade, and again, that's subjective because of the position of the sun, but they do like to spawn near rocks in this area. So for example, here they are, right near one of the rocks. And you can see there's a whole bunch of new branch types here as well. If I get the branch quest, which I probably will, we'll go over that as well. Sometimes, not all the time, especially in this area, but sometimes they'll spawn underneath little outcrops like this, kind of like they do in other places on the map. So let's see. Oh, these have glitched into a tree. That's not common, but it does occasionally happen. Now I gotta find two more, which shouldn't take much. This is one of the few places that amanita mushrooms are easy to find. They're easy to find in Hunter's Thicket, in here, and I think in one other place. Of course, flowers and button mushrooms. Okay. We've said these tricks before. Check your mini-map, or your full map if that's easier for you. Look for the green areas. Chances are good that the bigger ones will have the flowers and button mushrooms you need. Burned Forest has both the Kana flowers here, the red ones, and the usual yarrow, so either will work. And there it is, single player's glitching out again. I promise it does not do this on multiplayer. Not unless you have really bad lag. Let me just work my way over to this green patch. And there's the button mushrooms. A lot of this series from here on out will show specific, we'll kind of repeat the specific tips and tricks seen from the previous videos of how do I find the item versus where it is in that area. Let's see, here's the yarrow. So looking around, I don't immediately see any of the red flowers. Doesn't mean they're not here, they're just not in this specific area. So utilizing our typical tricks, sticking to the green areas, I find more flowers. More of the yarrow. Ah, okay, Gifts from the Sea. Again, as I've said before, this is one of those quests that's either really good or really bad. And Burned Forest, this is an excellent quest because everything is on the beach, and the black sand down here makes things super easy to find. I can see a turtle shell from here, in fact. I can see two of them. Three of them. That's a good chunk of my quest right there. They just stand out so nice and easy that it makes this whole quest so much more worthwhile. Questing in Burned Forest is usually pretty good. It's only the bone quest and the rock quest that get just a little iffy, and even then, knowing approximately where to look helps with that. But yeah, both the shells and the shells, because that's how this quest works, are pretty easy to spot out here. If not, just run along the water. You'll find the seashells and conches and whatnot eventually. I don't think they render in quite as quickly as the turtle shell does, or the branches. Ah, rocks. Okay. This one's going to take me back in. Going to take me back inland. Remember I said rocks is one of this quest that's just a little bit on the iffy side sometimes. It really does come to knowing where to look. So if you look at the mini-map, for me, I know that there's rocks in this area. In fact, it might even be visible on the map right there. And I think there's some over there. Actually, yeah, as I'm looking at it, I think these tiny little dots, if you zoom way in on the mini-map, are where those rocks are. So let's go ahead and find out. I also know that's the specific area where the gray rocks that we usually collect are located, just from wandering around this section of the map so much. But if they actually do show up on the mini-map, that would also be really cool. So let's see if I'm right about this. It should be over here. Hey, look at that. Now around the rocks, when you get the rock quest, if you get the collect bones quest, the bones usually appear around the rocks as well. So that makes those quests both easy and difficult. So if you know where to find the gray rocks, you'll find the bones and vice versa. Oh, and the bones also do appear in stacks of 9. Alright, scavenge from the dead. 20 bones. That's easy. There's going to be 9 right here. Usually what I do, because I don't quest here very often anymore, but I have a lot in the past, is I'll just wait for these bones to respawn in order to collect the last 2. However, since I now know that trick about the minimap having the rocks kind of visible, I'm going to use that as my guide and find the last 2 bones that way. So I can just barely see the points I'm going for on this map. Yep, look at that. Okay, cool. I learned a new trick while teaching you guys, so that works out really well. Awesome. Alright, now this area is complete. However, there is another quest you can get. You can get a quest to collect 20 branches. And you've got 2 types. You've got these mossy branches here, which are kind of scattered all over. There's not really a specific way or place to find these. For example, that pile is right there by its lonesome. But up and over here somewhere, I remember seeing several piles of them. Not quite sure where. Also, just for survival's sake, the little blue dot on your minimap is indeed a drinkable water source. And it's not very big, so chances of anyone hiding in there are quite slim. And if they are small. They are small. Yeah, see, here we go. Here's another pile of branches, kind of on its lonesome. And we did see those other branches earlier. I think they were more towards that direction, if you look at where my arrow is pointing on the minimap. But there's a bunch of those. Additionally, if you get the branch quest and you don't want to look for the mossy branches because there's not much of a landmark, you can head down to the beach. Because down at the beach, there's tons and tons and tons of dead branches. The only difference is they're not moss covered. This is what they look like. So hopefully that helps you cover Burned Forest as far as looking for quest items and where to go. And I'll see you guys in the next video.